Hi, I'm Sophia and I draw animals, and it's a sketchbook tour day. I'm really excited. Just want to say a quick thank you for you clicking on this video, but also checking out my channel in general. Please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing if you do like my video. I do my best to do videos every week. I'm pretty new to this still. I'm figuring out what routine works better, and obviously I do have a life outside of YouTube, so sometimes things get in the way, but I'm doing a good job of at least getting one video every week. But today I want to walk you through this sketchbook, which I did. It was February of 2025. I didn't remember what date, so I just wound up doing it as February. Then I ended it this month, the 15th. It is currently 10 days later. It's been a little while. I've definitely taken a break from creating. I just kind of have been really busy, but I want to walk through this one. I did mark it as number 2 as well, which is exciting for me because I get to actually keep a little shelf of these now. Just a little sticker tour. For now, we can do like a mini sticker tour because I don't entirely remember what all the artists are. I for sure know that these two are from the same artist. I will find them and put a little like name here. This one I made myself. These were like a Steven Universe sticker pack. This is on Etsy. It's a Baja Blast sticker pack. I need to find this one because I really do love the sticker and I honestly want to repurchase it. This one was from Risa Plants in Napa. This one is from Swamp Grandpa on Etsy. I didn't do the back of this one, which is kind of lame because the other one I covered the front and back, but I just think that I didn't get around to it and it's never gonna happen. So yeah, let's just get into this. I'm gonna kind of talk you through problems but also wins that came with certain pieces and stuff, and you're gonna walk through an honestly pretty curated sketchbook. Usually my stuff is a lot more messy, but I think I made it a point to be a little too curated this round. I think next sketchbook I definitely want to get a little bit more loose with my practicing and studies and stuff. This one's pretty it's pretty well done, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. You'll see why. There's a point where I get a little bit stuck, but I always come back around. So I tend to get really nervous about first pages, so I just kind of like used it as a swatch page for the fucking Ohuhus and my old Artist Loft pens and stuff that just like didn't really have accurate colors anymore, so it's kind of all I could do with it basically. The first official drawn page on this is a little carnivorous plants thing. I do wind up doing one of these towards the end as well, which is pretty cool, but I used the acrylic paint pens. I was very excited about this actually because I had not used acrylic paint pens yet, and it kind of kicked off a lot of fun stuff in my sketchbooks because there is a lot of room for color with minimal effort. So you can see I also used a gel pen to kind of mimic the shininess and translucence of the wings and stuff. I did a base layer of this like little highlighter. It was an actual highlighter. It's not proper alcohol marker or anything like that. I did those with my backgrounds, and I used acrylic paint pen to kind of get some base layers done, and then went over with different colors to get my desired shade ranges and all that stuff. I actually really like how these came out. These not so much because I wound up going over with like a little gel pen or something to kind of define some shapes, but I think it got a little messy. Let me center this now. We're moving on to some actual sketchy pages. This one was a ladybug study. I just did like Pinterest ladybug pictures, which is why this one's like the most classic ladybug pictures you see on Pinterest. It did get very faded because of the smudging of this paper. You can see it's all over here. I did clearly play with some paint marker again and just some pen. I like how the pen sketches came out more. I think they were more whimsical. One more ladybug to just kind of fill up the page. I don't know why I just put it smack dab in the middle and then didn't do anything around it, but I do promise that these pages start really filling up soon. This was a doodle page in a green gel pen. I think it was like a Pilot pen, if I'm correct. I didn't use any references to this. I just kind of drew a bunch of different dogs to almost mimic some sort of like pattern, like fabric pattern. But I wanted them to be big enough that they could apply to many people's dogs and not just certain breeds of dog. I almost said species, that is not correct. You're gonna see a few pages of him, but Kona is very fun to doodle. I do him a lot in pen or color pencils, things that don't erase very well, just to kind of let myself stay loose. He's got very clear shapes to his body, so it kind of makes it easier to define like what exactly he looks like in a kind of cartoonistic style, but I tend to draw him in this very doodly, silly, sparse style. For this drawing, I was playing with rainbow pencils. I had so much fun with these. I got them a little while back, and Haley, my girlfriend, wound up getting me a large pack of them, and I just had so much fun with them. This is just a kind of sparse page of cats in bandanas or like those scarves. I definitely think I need to come back and do that again. I did a great page of them in my last sketchbook, but I didn't wind up continuing this idea even though I thought it was very cute. By this point, I'm having a lot of fun with ballpoint pen. I did use this this doodle because it was me just doodling. This one I had a lot of fun with. This one I kind of didn't work as hard on, clearly. It doesn't look as refined. But I really liked this almost circular hatching kind of thing to match the bends and the vines, and I wound up using it as like a meme. Now, before I show you this, it's gonna get colorful. This is a very, very black and white start to my sketchbook, but it does get really crazy colorful in here. Pretty immediately after. I did lose a couple pages. They were just like little blank ones with some shitty sketches on them, so it wasn't on purpose. I wanted to keep them in, but this paper is pretty fragile if you cannot tell already. The perforation is very strong, so they fall out pretty easily. But I drew a rosy maple moth in color pencil. I was having a lot of fun pasting to the back of the pages just to kind of fill them in, because my goal was to use as many of the back pages as humanly possible. I wanted the sketchbook to be full, so I didn't feel like I was wasting, because I really have a problem with thinking that I'm wasting paper if it's not correct or perfect or even just used in general. It's kind of a perfectionism thing. It's not how that works, I know, but sometimes you just have to soothe yourself in whatever way possible, and this was it. I do really like this piece. It actually made a sticker. I did make a print of it too, because I just love the little palette markings there. I just think the colors came out so delicious and yummy and juicy. I wish the camera would do it justice, but it's so much more vibrant in person. I really do love it. The only thing is I did run into trouble here when I wound up transferring this to digital, like to Procreate to edit it basically, when I was turning it into a sticker, is I had to fight and reblend the lines where they marked up because of the paper fold. Since it's two pieces of paper on top of each other, you can see these little markings, and that just, oh my gosh, that took so long. It took so long. Moving on, I have another sketch page of Kona, my little baby boy. You can see by here, I start really figuring out how I like to draw him. That first page was kind of a test, but I wound up really liking that style. It kind of reminds me of the Adventure Time animals. They're very pointy and kind of low poly, and I really like that. Don't know why I included chicken drumsticks and little fish and steaks. I think it's just because they were like dog items, I guess. This style captures his awkwardness so well that I couldn't stop drawing him like this, and I very rarely draw him in higher detail because it just that little twinge of silliness is perfect for him. Oh my gosh, not so fun story, but these back pages where I layer the papers over, dude, I filmed like 3 hours worth of footage of me drawing these back pages. I think there's one more behind here if I'm correct. And I freaking lost it because I had bought this little camera and it wasn't very expensive. It wasn't very high tech. And I really thought that I could film better on that camera than I could on my phone. And boy, was I wrong. I was so very wrong. So bad. And I wound up losing the footage because I accidentally formatted the SD card after the fact. And so it cleared everything. And it was heartbreaking. I definitely cried about that. But now onto the drawing. This one was a suggestion. I wound up asking for suggestions. I definitely don't think this is proportionate at all. And that does bother me because I would really love to make it a sticker or a print or something because I like the two-tone. I just don't think it works. I'd have to redraw it, which is fine. It's fine. But it sucks because I was really proud of the color choices I made. I loved the pinks and purples, and I kind of started practicing doing stripes and spots and rosettes with a kind of hatchy, scratchy motion rather than actually fully defining each spot and stuff. I think that the illusion of detail is more fun than the actual detail, and I was getting a little bit better at that by this point. The next page is a sketch page of my cat. And now if you see the disparity of how I draw my cat and my dog, don't fret, I know it's there too. Toby makes me want to draw him like this, and he's got so much like expression and emotion in his eyes. Kona does too. He's a very expressive animal, but because he looks so awkward at me whenever I stare at him, he just like looks like he's nervous. He makes me like draw him awkward and silly, and Toby gets more colorful, detailed drawings of him, which is hilarious because I'm actually more comfortable drawing dog-like animals over cats usually, but I have had a lot of fun learning to draw cats through drawing Toby and drawing some like family commissions and stuff like that. I wound up using my Bic, dude, I have freaking Cheeto dust on my finger right now. That's crazy. Anyway, I wound up using my Bic color mechanical pencils to sketch in blue. I specifically wanted to do blue because I knew that he was very orange. He's a very, very orange cat, and I love complementary colors, so I had a lot of fun with that. And I wound up doing a base layer in that just to get some values going, running over top with alcohol marker. But I was playing with different textures I could make with the markers and stuff. After that, going in with the little big pencils to kind of really fine line because they're very thin. I had a lot of fun. I do wind up using this technique later on. I liked this kind of alternating like hatch checker pattern in the same color. It adds a little bit of visual interest without it being too intense for me. This page is like a fan fucking favorite. I love it a lot. People loved it a lot. I don't even know if my camera's catching how good it looks right now. It makes me sad that it doesn't, but I was supposed to fill this in. I never got around to it. You win some, you lose some. It's okay. But things start really picking up by this point. This sketchbook in general was a major pickup for my last sketchbook. Something about color and my coloring process kind of clicked. This is all pencil. I just use a little bit of paint marker for these highlights. I use a very saturated bright blue to highlight on the orange and the eyes, and then a little bit of white in there. I love how juicy and like glossy he looks. By the way, red-eyed tree frogs are my favorite amphibian. I really love them, always have, always will. I am so asthmatic, BT dubs. This is like really hard for me. I'm like losing my voice as we speak, losing breath as we speak. I'm not doing okay. This girl right here. I love this drawing. It was my first YouTube video, actually. This is what started my whole channel. Like, I love this piece so much, even though I think I technically have better stuff in the sketchbook. It just holds such a near and dear place in my heart that I can't not consider her a favorite. Specifically, the way that I did the feathers, I need to figure out what I was doing, but I was so locked in. I did use paint marker for some of the blues on top, but it was a lot of very fine layering and then detailing with paint marker. There's obviously some like anatomical things, like I think the legs were a little too thick and like the feet were a little too thick, but I can look past it because I like it so much and I love how the colors came out. Oh my gosh, bane of my existence. This is a little vampire crab, and I had seen some in real life and taken a lot of pictures and videos, and they were so adorable. Don't think I did them justice at all. And this is one of the lost footage pieces. It really, it ticked me off so bad that I can't even really look at it without feeling like anger and sadness and frustration. So now this, surprisingly, it's grown on me. I did not like it at first. I only liked this egret that I drew. If you can't tell already, I love birds. I love water birds. I love fish. I love animals in general, but I do have a very big place in my heart for egrets and herons. I see egrets all the time where I live because I'm near a marsh, and so they cross over from their roosting sites to their like feeding sites and stuff. It's really cool. Most of these things in the beginning are very heavily referenced, which was why I don't sell a lot of the stuff in this first part, because I was really working on figuring out my coloring style, because before I used to just sketch and do pencils only, and I am transitioning into using a lot more color because I desperately crave color and saturation and vibrance and visual interest and stuff like that, and I just feel like this has been a full-on journey of me figuring out how I like to color and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on in the sketchbook. This page was also kind of a love-hate. It was very funky. It took me so much longer than I anticipated. This is a play with paint markers as well. Initially, I was going to try and do something very realistic with alcohol and pencils, but it went a totally different direction because I could not for the life of me get it to work with me. I was having trouble choosing colors correctly, and I think because there was too much of an array of colors that I was almost looking for exact matches rather than trying to make my own color or make the illusion of my own color that would match the palette. And I was referencing very hard, and I think that was just causing a struggle. So I wound up just going fully to the other extreme and just taking my paint markers, slapping color on there and hoping for the best. I use the indigo outlines, and then there's even some bright greens in the centers that have been layered on top. And I like it a lot more now, but before I didn't like it at all. I was very frustrated because it was not coming out the way I wanted it to. But you'll see, I eventually do break out of that pattern a little bit. I get better about things not working the way I expect them to, especially because I was already feeling a lot of the pressure starting my channel and this being one of the things I filmed. And I obviously didn't really know what I was doing, and I still don't. I'm learning a lot now. you know, you win some, you lose some. Here's another couple sketches of Kona. They're just in my multi-pen. I have like a really cheap $2 blow pop multi-pen I got from Target 3 years ago that smells like bubblegum. I did use it because this bled through so badly. I used it to just kind of outline and play around with the colors, and I used some pinks and blues and purple. I came back and filled these pages out, so they're a little bit more confident in their line work, but I was definitely missing him a lot, so I was doodling him a lot more across my sketchbook. I can't possibly love every single bird the way that I love the several birds that are my favorites, so I will continue to say that. I love fairy penguins, little blue penguins. They're so cute. I think I have to turn this one into some sort of print sticker design, like refine it, make it cute. I was trying to be loose and chill in this sketchbook, and obviously it did not turn out well. It wasn't until I just took away all the materials and just wound up doing a little sketch in blue that I relaxed enough to do something fun and cute. I get so worried about control and making things good and perfect and aesthetically pleasing sometimes, and I have to really snap myself out of it. So I bring you to some fun, very loose, funky sketch pages. This one is from an older time, like a later time, and I come back in and draw just to fill in back pages. It is in crayon. The goal was to just fill the page. That's it, nothing special. This page was some possible sticker designs and bumper sticker designs. I'm still working on these. By working on them, I mean I'm forgetting about them and then coming back to them every couple months and then forgetting again. Some sort of colorful lead. I don't think it's colored pencil, but I was doodling a squid and an egg casing, like a shark egg casing, and then I drew like a stupid little blobby and a palm tree. It's nothing special. I was using these back pages as some sort of warm-up just to kind of loosen up because I was so stiff for a while and I had a little art block there. Just mentally was like I was trying to balance what I enjoyed with what I thought people would enjoy, and it wasn't working. I was still very much folding into what I thought people would enjoy rather than doing what I loved. Anyway, shoe bills from memory. Love birds, love waterfowl, love a heron or a crane, you know, a stork. This one was in my little cheap pack of paint pens. It was like a 16 color pack, so I used the light green, obviously a gray, a little brownish color, black, and then this peachy color it had, and some blues to kind of highlight things. This is like cheap Crayola felt tip markers, those little fine point ones. They're not even mine, they're my girlfriend's little brother's. I just was like, I found one, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna grab an extra one and we're gonna have some fun. But yeah, this was all no sketch, no reference, just vibes. Unintentionally my first sketchbook spread of my entire life. I've never done a spread before until this, which I realized a little too late, because I wanted to make it a nicer one for my first spread, but this is just another little doodle page. I was practicing like shading and pressure with my little colorful mechanical pencil things again. Next page is banana slugs, primarily an alcohol marker. I originally was gonna do 3 slugs per page. This was the first one I drew. Their shape was pretty easy for me to grasp, so once I got this one that was referenced down, I kind of went crazy with the rest of them. I'm not gonna lie, I went a lot more crazy with these spots because I liked the old banana look, the bruised banana look. This was a 10-minute sketch challenge thing I did. You can see I kind of messed up whatever that was. This was really cute as a sketch, and then I made it ugly by coloring it. It's just a plant. I used it as a coloring page. This is a little pen sketch of a ladybug. You can see I kind of play around with my little multi-pen a lot, but I liked these guys. I was playing around with the different shades of green I had and using the yellow to my advantage to get some more kind of shades going without actually having to do any work. This big drawing is a giant squid. I wish you could see the fucking color on this thing. It is so vibrant. I was so proud of this piece and nobody liked it, which really sucked. It really sucked because I was like, this is gonna be a big hit. Like, I really do love this piece, and I find that the ones I love the most are usually not the ones that get the love that I think they deserve. You know, you can't control what your audience likes and doesn't like, and that's fine. I went in very, very slowly and did very fine layers until it kind of became the shade that I wanted. And I outlined in this purple color, and so these tips of the squid are very, very vibrant. I really love it. I did not do the back of this. I think I was just sad about it. So I am a big fan of vultures, but lammergeier specifically, they're very large vultures. They're called bearded vultures if you don't want to say the long name. They roll themselves in this like mineral that makes them very orange and yellow. Otherwise they are black and white, and they have these red outline over their golden eyes. They're so cool. You'll see more drawings of them eventually. This bird, big fan. who would have guessed? It's just a black paint pen. This one's just a paint pen only. Tried to play with colors to kind of get like what the vibe was without actually having to full on color, but I really do like this. These are my concept sketches. I'm definitely gonna use some more of these probably for maybe another print. I feel bad drawing blue herons so much because I feel like people get bored of them, but I don't, so I guess I should just keep doing it. But I was worried that doing the same thing too many times would make it boring and that no one would have any interest. Which, saying that out loud is kind of dumb because there's people who got famous over drawing like one thing over and over and over and over and over. And not necessarily that I want to get famous, but like, I'm allowed to do what I want, and I just set up so many stupid rules for myself, like I can't draw things more than once. Or like show them off more than once, you know? Saying it out loud sounds really dumb, which sometimes I need to do that because reality check, I can do what I want. The quality from this to this is like insane to me. Scrumdiddlyumptious. I did a lot more underpainting with this one. I'm gonna call it underpainting. I know that's not the correct term for this because it's markers, but bear with me please. And I did that little hatching thing with an indigo pencil, and I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth so many times. It took so long and it killed my wrist. And you can see that I went in with a super sharp pencil into these little lines to show the texture on the feathers. And I think it really just paid off because it looks so good. And I don't know what I did to make the eye that small and look that good with pencils that were not that sharp, but I did it and I'm so proud. Ah! Jump scare, oh my god. This is Bourgeois. This is in May, you can see. I love this one. I don't necessarily care for a lot of the other ones. I wanted to capture different fur patterns and stuff, but I think because my materials were just very blunt, because it was a thicker marker and stuff and thicker pencils. But I loved the full pink spread. It was not originally going to be in pink. It was going to be mini monochromatic sketches in different colors. But I realized I don't use pink very often, and I should probably get more comfortable with it because pink goes really well with like oranges and yellows and other reds and purples. It goes well with a lot of other colors. It's very versatile, and I just don't touch it very often, and I think I should. Apologies, but another empty page. This is like crayon outlining. I don't know why I did that. This was a thing I used to do in my old sketchbook. I like to try and draw animals that I've drawn multiple times from memory sometimes, just because it's really funny, number one, because they tend to look a little bit terrible. And number two, because I think it helps me see what I'm missing when I look at the animal and what to look out for next time to not forget. Because eventually I want to get to a point where I can draw something without having to reference or even build my own reference, because that still requires me to heavily look at something, reference it, and then draw it, even if it's my own reference that I've built and created. Now this is still in here because we have not picked out a frame. We want to keep it safe for now. But these were some thumbnail, well, not thumbnails because they're kind of big, I guess, but some concept sketches, if you will, for a gift for my girlfriend for our 3-year anniversary that was last June. I had to block her on everything. It was so hard to not tell her about things because I usually tell her everything. I'm terrible at keeping secrets and holding on to gifts and stuff, but I did kind of hold on to this one for a little bit longer than usual. I wanted to sketch it multiple times to make sure I got the weird wiggles and mishaps out of my system, and I did. This marker was actually dying. I do think some of the best textures come from materials that are this close to death. And I was like, oh my god, my arm was killing me again. Obviously, because this is going to be framed in a little bit, this is just going to be hiding in here, nothing on the back. But right after, complete opposite vibe, are these sparkly shrimpies. These ones were entirely in marker, no pencil was used. I blocked out colors in alcohol marker and then used different tiny fine point felt pens to hatch on different colors. And then I went over with a white gel pen to get the little antenna whisker things going, and yeah. All right, from here I do promise that I start filling the backs of these pages. Just the alcohol marker is really annoying to work with when it's on the back. I use it a lot less as we go on. I did these with the little Sharpie highlighter things. They're called the S notes or something like that. This desk, it did not exist yet. It was being built, and so all of my stuff was shoved into my mini studio, which is my girlfriend's sewing desk. I was using it for the week, so I did something really simple and easy and small. I do think I used the Papermate Inkjoy ones for some of that, but you know. These are some more jellyfish sketches. Holy shit, that's hard for me to say. These are more jellyfish sketches, just in pencil. I did also do a couple kelp bulbs, you see, and then we were watching SpongeBob, so there's a SpongeBob jellyfish and the jellyfish net and everything they use, and I did doodle a couple of moon jellies because I have drawn those before and I do love them, and they're very simple and they're so cute to draw that I couldn't resist. And remember how I said I started loosening up as we go in the sketchbook? This is definitely part of it. I started doing more very old sketch pagey things. I really love this plant so much. I wish I kind of took it further and made it something more. Oh, more crayon. More crayon. I fucking love crayon. I don't even know what kind of flower these are. I think they're almost like pansies, but not really. The star of the show, though, is the rainbow peacock mantis shrimp. Like, I love this shrimp to death. I do have a couple minor critiques. Like, I wish I had made it a little bit smaller so more of the page could be devoted to the background, but because it's perforated, I couldn't really do that. And then I did let a little bit of the colors get muddy over here on the stars, but otherwise, I don't know, something came over me, and the fun blending and stuff that I did here and the color choices I think were just really, really fun. My other only complaint is that it does not pick up very well on camera. It takes a lot of editing to make this true to color on the phone. It just it washes it out so bad because the green and the orange, it's just trying to find the white balance, and it really sucks because it has so much color in real life. Moving on. Oh, I did a little sketch page in just pencil. I love these so much. They are like one of the worst drawings in the sketchbook. It's just so ridiculous to look at. The way the eyes look is just so silly. I honestly think I should make some sort of silly version of the sticker. Lamborghinis, obviously. These were strictly in felt pen. I have these very micro tip felt pens I got. They're like Mondo Llama, I'm pretty sure. I've had those for a very long time, and I have only honestly started getting new materials since I started this channel because I've been exploring new mediums and stuff, and my girlfriend is a gift giver, and so she's gotten me a lot of materials that I've been interested in. Love her. So thankful for her, truly. But I do love to also use kind of what I have as much as possible because I don't want to, first of all, I don't have a lot of room back here, and I don't want to like overdo it with the amount of things that I have so that I can't, to the point where I can't store them, you know? So these are all in different shades of like micro tip felt pen. All right, things start getting really good, guys. And we know I love nothing more than sketching in color. So I put in this pretty brown color and went away, and it was just, oh. This is a doodle version of a Polaroid of my cat, Toby. Him sleeping on a little blanket, he's very cute. Clearly I love a hatching style. I haven't quite figured out exactly what kind of hatching I like, but I do play with it a lot. I don't think there's any real technique in there. I think I'd have to learn in order to get that kind of properly done. And then we have my grizzly bears. I was incredibly proud of once I finished. They were also really well received. They're my most sold print to this day. These were almost entirely in paint marker. I just used this bright green alcohol marker to underpaint everything. These are in paint pen. They're just me practicing like my 3-color method thing where I use a dark, a light, and a middle tone of the same color because I love monochromatic sketches and things like that. This was just mostly so I could fill the page, but it was pretty fun to just see if I could redraw it from memory and have it be a little bit sillier. I did a similar thing with grabbing a blue lead for my Mr. Pencil mechanical pencil. Oh, don't look at the sadness on this side quite yet, but I love this spread a lot. This was entirely in paint pen. There was very little sketching done. I'm pretty sure no sketching done actually with any pencil or anything. I was doing that little 3-color method thing, and I wanted to do different colorful palettes without it being just same old, same old. I did a little sandpiper. The raccoon's personally a fave. The shoe bulb was definitely a fan fave. Now, unfortunately for me, I forgot that I had done this, and then I went and used my Ohuhu alcohol markers on the back. They bleed a lot. To be fair, this paper isn't like the greatest paper. It feels nice, but there's some issues there with the perforations and even how it holds ink and the smudginess of pencils and stuff like that. So it's all made better by the fact that this spread is so fucking beautiful. I'm really, really proud of this spread. By this point, I start getting really into using both pages and playing with the center mark and stuff like that. I did a whale shark, a a horn shark, a thresher, a big eye thresher specifically, a nurse shark, a cat shark mermaid purse, tiger shark embryo, tiger shark, and then horn shark egg casings. This page was very much me just having fun. I used alcohol marker for all the base coloring. Then I went over top with color matched paint pens to help cut out some details that I couldn't quite get with marker because it kind of bleeds a little bit, so you lose a little bit of detail with markers like that. But I think the paint marker went and tightened everything really, really well. The color match was insane with the Artex marker, so that worked out in my favor really nicely. I am a very big fan of this page. I posted a lot because I was like, you're gonna be sick of me. They're just so pretty, and it's monochrome, and it's sharks, and it was during Shark Week. I'm very proud of this. I do have a video on this if you want to watch. And then I did another thing. Once again, I told you that I use a lot more paint marker as we go along. I wound up choosing pinks in a dark, a middle, and a light pink. And I use those to go over top of the blue because obviously it bled really bad. And I wanted to still make it pretty, and I honestly really like how this turned out. All right, by this point, I'm starting to play with other mediums that are a lot simpler, that aren't requiring a lot of detail and stuff, because I'm just trying to get through this fucking sketchbook. I'm counting the pages, I'm kind of over it, and I take up my multi-pen and I sketched some acorn woodpeckers from memory. They are my spark bird, and if you don't know what a spark bird is, it's like the bird that kind of gets you into birding and into ornithology and stuff like that. And I actually didn't know that the acorn woodpecker was my spark bird until later when I learned the word, but it's always been the bird that I was fixated on the first time. In 3rd grade, I gave a presentation on acorn woodpeckers, and ever since then, I have been so excited when I spot them. I love birds. I am a big fan of the Merlin app. Go support some freaking scientists and go identify some birds. The anatomy is not quite there because it was from memory, but you see in other sketches, I do get a little bit better about them. I'm sorry, my cat is back here with me. He's shuffling. He's very annoyed because he has a cone on right now and he's unhappy, even though it's his own doing. And in order to make him happy, I let him come back here with me for a little bit of a change of scenery, and I put a cardboard box down for him, and he is just shuffling away right now. A little spider just landed on me. Oh my god. A fucking spider that just landed on me. What the hell? Ew! I actually can't. Where did you go? Oh my god, that was terrible. Okay, moving on. I pulled out my paint pens again for this little toucan. I really like him. He was so simple. I did reference it from Pinterest, but I wanted to use some bright colors, and I'm a big fan of not using true black in my artworks. I think that there's nothing wrong with using black in your artworks. I just love using a really dark brown or a really dark purple or blue as a substitution for black, because I think it just adds another layer of vibrance. And it's just fun for me. It's a fun choice I like to make, and I like how it looks. It looks so playful and bright. Another page of my dog Kona and his nicknames, obviously. I fucking love this doodle of him pooping because he's so awkward. His little side eye. This rainbow pencil, I hadn't used it for a while, since like the beginning, obviously, and bringing it back was definitely the move because I had so much fun with it after that. Brown sketches. It's actually the first day. Oh, can you stop shuffling? Jesus Christ. It's actually the first day of autumn today when I'm filming, which honestly, it doesn't feel like it. It was 85 degrees today, unfortunately for me, but this doodle page was very fun. I think I was just kind of in a rut and just needed to doodle just to doodle. I needed to get something out that was creative, that was not a full piece because I just didn't have the energy for it. And this was it. I drew my favorite bouncy cup. I drew my dog and his little anteater plushie that he loves. This was supposed to be a doodle page of Gravity Falls. I wanted to do Dipper and Mabel doodles. And so like this is why the head is kind of shaped like theirs, but I immediately failed. And then I was like, okay, we just gotta fill the rest of the page. And so I drew a gusher, and drew a card, a little envelope because I had been sending out orders, a sheep, a watermelon, an acorn, an apple, little doodles. I really do love this though. I think I want to doodle more animals in this style. Are you done? That is him trying to scratch with his cone. You're trying to open up your stabbies, dude. I brought you back here for some chill time. What the heck? Moving on. I know I talked a whole lot about finishing AV in August, and then I did not do like more than a week and a half of it. I think even just a week. It was so sad, but just things kind of got in the way and I wasn't able to do it. I am pre-planning Inktober this year, and maybe even like a different art challenge. I'm calling it all Inktober because they're just all October art challenges, but I want to do something, but I'm gonna draw ahead, unfortunately. I thought I could do it in real time, but life always gets in the way and it just doesn't work out. So I'm gonna be doing it ahead of time. AV in August, they were doing, I think, Hawaii's native birds, if I'm correct. And there were some really cool animals listed. I got through the first week and I was doing something where I would do a different medium for each bird. This one is in my Mr. Pencil. This one is an albatross and paint marker. This was strictly in little felt pens. This was in alcohol marker with a little bit of pencil. This one is strictly pencil, and this one is another one that is an alcohol marker with some felt pen. So I was trying to switch it up for each one and do some funky color palettes as well, just so that it wouldn't all be the same and I wouldn't get too caught up in realism. I'm like so sad that I didn't want it posting it really or making it into anything. I really love it. And hello, are you done? Don't start. These were some concept sketches for my headphone case, which I did post about on my socials, so please look me up, follow me on my socials. We had a lot of fun over there. I wound up doing a milk snake, if I'm correct. I was considering doing a cassowary, some sort of apple themed one, an acorn woodpecker, obviously, Venus flytraps, some African penguins, and some cats. I wound up going with this similar design for a snake. This was a very last minute one, and then I wound up kind of mapping out how I wanted it to look. This is obviously for my new headphone case that I got because I have to customize everything. We know me. But then I was like, I like this kind of rectangle focused drawing thing, and maybe I could use that to translate it into prints. And so I doodled an otter. I just kind of sketched some bats, another cassowary. This one's a lot better. We have more sketches of my dog, Kona. I feel like I draw him different every time. The only consistent ones are these doodle drawings of him. I did these in the red sketching pencil, the little HB ones, I think. This is a mock-up of a portrait I'm gonna do of him as like a little memorial portrait since we did lose him. But it's gonna be for my girlfriend's sister, her younger sister, who's also like near and dear to my heart. I love her. I'm gonna do it kind of in a style that she would like, so kind of vintagey, like pretty and very dainty and feminine. I just think that this would be a good way to memorialize him for her space, so it would still kind of fit in with all of her stuff and her vibe. And then we're back to more chaotic sketching. I really want to do some Halloween prints and stuff, but I couldn't quite figure out what I was doing. I think I'm gonna pull more from those other ones, but I love the idea of doing stuff that are dark and light versions of each other, because there's melanistic and leucistic / albino animals, and those are two different things, I know, but you kind of get my drift. We'll see how that goes. I really hope I can get something out for October, but I'm trying, but we're almost there and it's getting scary. These are some concept sketches for like a coffee. I designed stickers for them. I have some that are finalized now that I'm not going to show quite yet. I'm doing some designs for Dia de Muertos, so I just want it to be like, I don't know. I don't want it to be bad, but I'm a big fan of the talavera with marigolds in it and having some candles around. And then some calaca themed pepe picado. I just think that's really cute. And then doing kind of death before decaf thing. I think it's going to be really exciting once it does come to fruition. I think they're going to look so cute once they're actually like here, you know? This page is some fan art. I think it's like the first page of fan art I really have in here, which is surprising because I'm a part of many fandoms, like many fandoms spanning a lot of communities, and I don't draw a lot of fan art. I do think I want to make it a point this next sketchbook to draw more fan art because I obsess over art styles and animation and stuff like that, and then just do nothing about it, just like freak out about it to everyone who will listen. But this kind of gives me like a little bit of an outlet. This was entirely in crayon. I sketched in crayon, I colored it in crayon, I lined it in crayon. I did the little tiger and the bird, the magpie and the tiger from K-pop Demon Hunters. I really do like this page. I'm very proud of it. It was very fun for me to do. Oh, I love this spread. I love the spread. This one was initially going to be just sketching like in colorful pencil, but not actually coloring or anything. But once I whipped out the Artex markers again, I was just like, I need to fully do this. This is actually a video as well. A lot of these are videos. There's some things that obviously were not filmed, but a lot of the sketchbook was done and documented through my YouTube channel. So if you do see the stuff you like, take a little peek. You probably see it in a video, to be honest. I love this page. It did not even take me that long, and I drew just all kind of brown animals. This is the Prometheus moth. Hello? Prometheus moth. I cannot say that. Prometheus. No, that's the fucking myth. polyphemus moth, bat-eared fox, a little mink, a bittern, a fancy pigeon, but it's a pigeon, a brown trout at the mandua, which is a little lesser anteater, an arboreal anteater, and then a brown, I think it was just called a brown snake, if I'm correct. But yeah, these were all kind of brown animals. And once again, you see me, I'm using very minimal black. The sketching did take me a while. I sketched in a light brown and wound up just erasing with a kneadable eraser. There's still some marks, but overall, I really like how it came out, and I think it's so cute. I can't stop thinking about it. I go back and I look at it all the time. Oh, you can see I'm back on my spread game. These were for my ugly animals video. It was like a healing art block thing. I had been suggested doing like ugly underappreciated animals. People didn't like that I called them ugly, but like to most people they're ugly. I, for one, love ibis and love eyes. I'm a little scared of scorpions, but they're very cool. Not to be like that, but they're scary. Eyes are a lemur that has a really like long fingernail to dig for grubs and stuff. They're so cool. I was learning so much about them when I was Googling them and like researching and stuff and reading about them, and I could do a video essay on eyes alone because they should not even really exist. Like, we don't even know how they truly evolved. It honestly shouldn't have evolved, and it did. Anyway, this is a bald ibis, and this is a Goliath scorpion? Emperor scorpion, sorry. I did these in some of my shittier materials. It was some dyeing Sharpie S Note pens, and then red pencil to sketch, and then over top I did my little multi-pen ballpoint pen. So it was very scratchy, very hatchy, but I do really like how it turned out. This color just kind of seals the deal for me. I like how it turned out a lot. This is another spread to kind of fill the sketchbook. I'm really counting the amount of pages by this. I'm trying to get this done. I'm trying to get this out of here. It's just gonna be a hodgepodge from here on. And I just kind of Pinterest referenced a couple of these, but I wanted to play with the color palette. So you can see on the ladybug, I didn't actually use red and black. I wound up using a poppy red orange color and indigo blue. I used magenta in the mantis. It's colorful, it's playful. It's not the most like well executed piece I've ever done, but I'm very fond of it though. And I honestly it didn't take me that long. By the way, these last sessions are in like hour spouts. So this one and this one, these 3 pages in a total of an hour. But this is just a little blobby shrimps page and playing with this like cyber sigil-esque shape. I've been enjoying doing this in other sketchbook pages now. I'm getting better at it. I don't know if I have completely got it down, but we're getting there. Then I did a color pencil page. It's pretty much entirely color pencil. It's some more Venus flytraps, and did indigo and red for the fly as well. And then this is a pretty fun page. I kind of moved back into the marker section and pen style I was going into. I did some blobbies and some highlighter. These are like the Sharpie S Notes again. And I used a pen to line over top of them. And then these little scribbles you see to add some depth in the color and to alter the color a little bit. These are my really fine point felt tip pens that I was using. And then I just doodled on the faces because I thought they were so cute. They kind of reminded me of the Pottsville people from Over the Garden Wall. So I was inspired by that, and then I just kind of kept going. And if you can't tell, I fucking love Schmitzkys. They're not called Schmieskys, they're called Smitskys, but I can't resist calling them Schmieskys as like my little bit, and now I can't stop saying it. I will go through this a little bit. These are from like the Sleep series, the blue ones, and then I drew a toilet because one of them has to go to the bathroom. This one's like a special one that has the flower head that I have not gotten. I don't know if I ever will because they're kind of expensive. But yeah, it was really fun. I didn't really sketch for any of these. I just kind of went crazy and got some color down and had a lot of fun. And I definitely think I should doodle them more often. And by this point, I'm trying to get this done, so I stopped kind of sketching and I start just going straight in with other materials. So this one is just the Papermate Inkjoy gel pens. I love the pigmenting on those pens, and the shade range is insane. These ones I did not buy myself. Actually, Haley has had a pack of them for years, and I kind of snatched the colors I like a lot and use them. So this is a dark brown color. I love drawing in brown. These are all from my mind's eye, and this cat is very loosely based off of my cat because it's an orange tabby in my head. And then I move on to ballpoint pen with my multi-pen. I actually wound up doing layer by layer of color. I started off with yellow and then got some values down in that yellow color, and then I went over with green and blue and then red and then purple to get the black color. Then just did a black sketch of that because they're just so cute. this was actually the day before I finished the sketchbook. It is not in order because this page was left blank for a little bit because I wanted to do another spread. So this, it's a little messy now, but it's a spread of sea slugs and nudibranchs. So I did quite a few. I am a big fan of the sea angel and of this little guy. These were strictly in crayon. I sketched in crayon, I lined in crayon, and I colored in crayon. It definitely kind of threw me for a loop with some of the colors because crayons can be a little bit translucent sometimes and not as pigmented as you anticipate them. But I think I still did a good job of using colors in the way that I usually would. Oh, and this is one of our newest spreads. This is a page of raccoons. I love to sketch in complementary colors, and because I'd be using browns, and browns are just a really dark orange, I wound up sketching in a light green. And so I chose, I think, 4 different brown colors, if I'm correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. 4 different browns, and I very lightly did a kind of broken line work to just imitate the fluffiness and fuzziness of fur. Big fan of this little guy though, and this guy because he looks like the one that's washing the cotton candy and then gets upset that it's like gone. It did take me a little bit because I was very lightly coloring a lot of very thin, fine layers, but I think it was worth it in the end. Moving on, I have some ladybugs. I did some in just a classic red and black, but after that I went in and did a kind of muted version of that palette and then played with some of the other colors I'd used here. This is honestly just another way to use the page. I was kind of over it by this point. I did wind up locking in again though because I love this page so much. I'll walk you through these a little bit. This is my hydro. This is supposed to be a peace sign. I used to do this doodle during school all the time. And we have these little candle holders that have this metal kind of bar bend thing. It's very pretty and intricate, and so I just doodled that because it was cute. This is one of my earrings, my little star clip earrings, and my sketchbook clip, and a little drawn Polaroid of Kona. War is over. This is such a pretty page. Oh my god, I locked the freak in. I did another little raccoon. There was no referencing involved here. This was all just from my mind's eye. So I did a little long-eared bat, a little toad. Yeah, he's a toad, technically, I think. And then a little black cat, a pumpkin, a little witch hat, and then a sunflower. I like what I did with the line weight here. I had to, obviously, because of the gel pen, go over and color in the line weight. This page is just so scrumptious. I'm very proud of it. As we're getting to the end, I do use a little bit more color, but there's a lot of pen drawings because I kind of get on a gel pen kick again. You'll see I go through, you obviously can see, but I've gone through phases of liking certain mediums and stuff, and I'll favor them for a little while, move on, and then probably come back to them, but find a new medium and focus on it for a little bit. These are more pitcher plants. I do love carnivorous plants, but especially pitcher plants. I love complementary colors and just red and green and pink and green and stuff. Big fan. And I'm playing around with the cyber sigil work again. I did use pencils for like literally all of this. There isn't any marker or anything. It's all me shading in very slowly. Then I move on to another coffee page. This one's really cute. It's like so aesthetically pleasing to me. I'm like, who even is she? I'd never draw like this, but I doodled a journal. It's not actually my journal, but I'm pretending I'm writing a little love note about Haley or something because she's my lady and I love her. And then the yum because the pastries and stuff are so good. I do some chocolate cookies, some chatting in the background, and then some coffee falling out of a cup just because I love to draw coffee spilling, even though it sucks when your coffee spills. But something about the color and it just like swooshing out is just so satisfying to me. Obviously, I don't really know how the physics work on this because obviously I'm not a physicist. I do not study that kind of thing or anything, but in my head, this looks as realistic as it's gonna get. God damn, these pages are so good. I really locked into the end. I don't know what happened, but I was just like motivated and ready to go. I wasn't over it anymore. These are some moon jellies in rainbow pencil with some bubbles. I had to kind of rotate the pencil to figure out what colors I wanted for the most part. And it was really fun. It was so light and it didn't take me very long, but I still really like how the result came out, and it made me feel like I had done more than I actually had. This is a request from my girlfriend. She wanted me to draw the rat that's clenching the fist of rage. This was so fun to draw. I didn't sketch or anything. I just drew straight with the pen and then took some alcohol marker and kind of added some depth and stuff. So funny. I wish it was I wish it was more serious because it came out so good, but it's hilarious to me, and I would definitely keep this one forever. Oh shit, was that my last page? So this is the last page of my sketchbook. And then I do a little goodbye page. I drew some poppies because I knew how to draw them and I didn't have to look at anything. And a pretty shittily colored sky and grass clover field thing. I don't know. But that's the end of my sketchbook. Thanks for listening to me yap for probably forever. This was an insane journey for me. A lot of growth happened here. And I am just so excited to start drawing in a different book. Like, I'm done. I don't want the perforated pages to be ripping anymore. I just want to move on. I want to say thank you to everyone for hanging out with me today, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you because I don't know what I was expecting going into this, but it definitely wasn't this much good feedback, and I'm just so very grateful. And let's be silly together more often. I think I'm figuring out what formula I like for my videos and stuff like that, and I'm trying to be more consistent and stuff. I'm doing a great job considering the fact that a lot's been going on in my life, but there's definitely more drawing to be had and more growth and learning and studies to be had, and I definitely want to document that for you guys, for anyone who is feeling like they don't really know what they're doing with their art. I also don't know what I'm doing. I'm self-taught. I've never been to an art class in my life. This is all just me having fun and experimenting, and I hope you do that with me too. So until next time, do me a freaking favor. I'll give you my broken water bottle. Drink some water, take care of your mind, take your meds, and I'll see you in the next video where we draw some freaking animals for like Inktober or something. I don't remember what time it is. Yeah. Goodbye.